Welcome to our video on the Identity Provider Portal, or IdP Portal. In this video we'll cover what the IdP Portal is and why you would want to use it, touch briefly on SAML authentication, then discuss how to set up the IdP Portal and how you can troubleshoot it. Let's get started. Let's talk about what the IdP Portal is. The IdP Portal is a self-service portal that AuthPoint users can access. It has two main functions. First, the IdP Portal offers users several account management options. So users can go to the portal to activate new tokens, even after the activate token email that they were sent expires, and they can activate or enable the forgot token mode. Local AuthPoint users can also change or reset their password on the IdP Portal, but users from LDAP or Active Directory cannot. The second function of the IdP Portal is to provide users with easy access to any SAML applications they are authorized for. So what is SAML? Well, SAML is a protocol that enables us to securely send authentication information over the internet between websites that support it. And this centralizes that authentication to one source. What this means is that once a user has authenticated with SAML once, then that authentication can be passed along so that the user is automatically logged in when they navigate to other protected resources or SAML applications. Here is a diagram that shows the two ways a user can authenticate with SAML. The difference is where the user goes to log in initially. In the top example, the user navigates to the IdP Portal where they authenticate and log in step 1. In the IdP Portal, the user can see all of the services they have access to. And in step 2, they would select a service, for example Outlook.com, and they are taken to their mailbox without having to enter their credentials again. However, the IdP Portal is not required for SAML authentication to function. In the bottom example, the user goes directly to their SAML application, in this case Outlook.com, in step 1. When they log in, they are redirected to AuthPoint, where they must authenticate in step 2 before they can access their mailbox. So the IdP Portal is not necessary, it just makes it easier for users to access all of their protected services from a single place. So here we can see the dashboard page in WatchGuard Cloud. Let's go to Configure, then AuthPoint, then select Resources on the left. Now I'll select the IdP Portal resource in the list and create one for my account. When we create an IdP Portal resource, we must type a name for the resource and an account alias. The account alias is used to create a unique URL for our IdP Portal. Each account can only have one IdP Portal because the portal is hosted under authpoint.watchguard.com. Once we're done, we save our resource. When we create resources, we also need to define how users will authenticate to those resources based on their groups. I have clicked Authentication Policies on the left, which is where we configure these settings. In this account, I only have a single group for my users, and I already have a policy in place that enforces multi-factor authentication for the group. This policy is applied to all resources on the account, so my new resource is already included and my users are authorized to use it. You can use authentication policies and policy objects to configure the level of access that you need for all of the different users in your environment. For more information about authentication policies and how to configure them, refer to the Using AuthPoint Authentication Policies video. If we go back to our IdP Portal resource, we can see the link to our IdP Portal. I have already created a user in my AuthPoint account, so I'm ready to use the portal. I'll click the link here in my resource to go to the portal and we see the AuthPoint authentication page. To continue, we first type our username, then we are presented with a few options. Down below we can see an Activate Token link, which indicates that our user has a pending token activation. Let's go ahead and click that link to activate our token. After we type our password, we are presented with a QR code that we scan with the AuthPoint app to activate the token. I'll go ahead and scan the QR code with my AuthPoint mobile app to complete the token activation. We can also see the link for Forgot Password, and if I needed my token to authenticate, we would see the Forgot Token link here as well. We don't need those right now, so we can go ahead and just log in. Since the access policy we created only requires a password, we can simply type our password to log into the IdP portal. Now that we're in the IdP portal, we can see a link to Outlook.com since our group is authorized to access that resource. However, because the access policy for Outlook.com required MFA, and we've only provided a password, when we try to reach Outlook.com, we need to provide a second factor first. In this case, I'll provide my one-time password. If we had already provided a second factor previously, we would just be logged in. Once we're authenticated, we are sent over to Outlook to see our mailbox. So how do we troubleshoot the IdP portal? Well, if there's a problem when a user logs into the portal, the user sees an error message, as well as an error code and a request ID at the bottom. In this case, the password was incorrect. These can be useful to understand what happened, or to give to technical support if more troubleshooting is necessary. In WatchGuard Cloud, we can look at the audit logs for the user to track why an authentication failed. Here is the login attempt from earlier. We can select the log message to see more details, including what went wrong. In this video, we covered the self-service options available to users in the IdP portal, including token activation, password resets, and the ability to enable Forgot Token mode. We talked about how the IdP portal is used for SAML authentication. We walked through how to set up and use the IdP portal and how you can troubleshoot it with the audit logs.